Good Wednesday morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us here at Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. I'm meteorologist Johnny Lively. And if we take a look at what's going on in the Tamco Live Doppler radar, pretty quiet this morning. It was actually a nice little sunrise. We had some broken clouds. You can see some showers moving into the New Iberia, Louisiana region, but pretty quiet across southeast Texas and even southwest Louisiana. We zoom out. You can see some redevelopment over there into portions of East Texas. That's where that weak frontal boundary is. Some isolated to scattered showers and storms, really mostly offshore, moving into some parts of the coastline, but really kind of flowing over there towards Florida. We expect at least 20 to 30% coverage once again today. You've got that weak frontal boundary over there towards East Texas. This likely will help give us some showers and storms up there towards what we call the lakes regions, really our northern counties and parishes. And then we likely will see some sea breeze once again from Victoria to Galveston, League City, Beaumont, down there to Port Arthur and Orange, Cameron Parish region. We'll be watching for some sea breeze later this morning into the afternoon. I just don't think the coverage will be as high as what we've seen the last couple of days, but still at least up to 20 to 30% coverage we're expecting. Current temperatures, you can see we do have some areas into the low 70s, but the rest of us middle to upper 70s and down there towards the coast, you're already taking off into the low 80s. Some areas already approaching that 85 to 86 degree mark, like Holly Beach over there this morning. Thanks for a sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you on. Our outdoor and construction forecast for today, I don't think we're going to get that active of what we've been the last couple of days, but once we get to the lunchtime hour, we're warming up and heating up, and we still have that moisture. We should see some sea breeze getting up to 10 to 20% coverage later this morning and around lunchtime, and then afternoon, we should get at least up to 30% coverage, probably a little bit better over there, 30 to 40% towards southwest Louisiana. But today and getting into Thursday, we should see less coverage what we've seen the last couple of days. We aren't saying we're going rain free. We're just saying the coverage should be slightly lower than the last couple of days. But some big changes are on the way this weekend, getting into next week. We'll talk about that here in a second. But no changes in the tropics. Thanks to Tamco showing us that it is pretty quiet. Next 7 to 10 days is very quiet in the tropics. Lots of dry air, wind shear, and that Saharan dust really keeping the tropical Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf really quiet right now. We will see some of that moisture from the east kind of flow into the deep south this weekend into next week, and we'll actually talk about that right now. This brings us to our Futurecast, sponsored by Switch Electric. Notice we've got a high pressure towards the east, high pressure towards the west. Nothing is sitting on top of us, so that's why we're not 100% rain-free. But watch as that high pressure starts going up towards the north. This is going to change the weather pattern big time. We kind of seen this a couple weeks ago. That high pressure continues to sneak off towards the north, gets directly north of us. We've got flow coming out of the south, that rich moisture coming in from the Gulf, and we also have a pretty wide open door for more flow to come out of the east. This is just a combination of moisture kind of meeting up, not only here in southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana, but the whole corridor of Texas into the deep south. You've got a pretty good opening this weekend into next weekend this weekend into next week for some scattered showers and storm, if not numerous. And we'll talk more on that in just a second. Again, look at the moisture we have right now. It's not that bad, but this weekend, getting into really next week, look at that bullseye from Texas all the way to Louisiana into Florida and even Georgia. We've got a bullseye right into the deep south for lots of moisture, and along with the heat of the day, you can get a lot of storms out of this. So here we are looking at a rainfall outlook. You can see we've got 20 to 30% coverage today and tomorrow, even kicking around even on Friday as well, too. Now, Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we might have to adjust this a little bit more, start getting a little bit more active this weekend. But you see, we start getting the scattered, if not numerous, Saturday, Sunday, and especially by the time we get into Monday and Tuesday this week. We'll talk about those rainfall totals here in just a second. But looking at our Futurecast for today, sponsored by Tamco, again, 20 to 30% coverage is what we're expecting. Probably a little bit better over there towards southwest Louisiana, 30 to 40% can be possible. And again, I'm not saying we're rain free. If you get underneath one of these downpours, you can get 1 to 2 inches of rain and lots of lightning. Kind of similar to what we've seen, just kind of showing that the coverage of rain definitely is a lot lower when it has been the last couple of days. A lot better coverage over there towards Louisiana versus the southeast Texas side. And then tonight, we lose that daytime heating because we lose the sun. And then this is really kind of the same forecast that you see just now for Wednesday. Should see the same thing again on Thursday. Another round of 20 to 30% coverage. Rainfall totals today, tomorrow, into the weekend, not that bad. I mean, you can find some isolated pockets of 1 to 2 inches widespread, maybe about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. But watch as we get into really Sunday and into early next week. Bam, I'm talking pretty wet for portions of the state of Texas, especially Louisiana and the deep south. That yellow, a little bit of orange and red, that's up to 1 to 2 to 3 inches. Isolated pockets 4 or 5 inches definitely cannot be ruled out this weekend into next week. High temperatures today, though, is going to get really warm and hot. We're talking low to mid 90s. Several areas like Spring, Conroe, and the further north that you go can get into the upper 90s. Heat index 100 to 108 degrees. Definitely stay cool. Down there towards the coast, upper 80s to near 90. And again, 20 to 30% coverage for southeast Texas, 30 to 40% coverage for southwest Louisiana. And thanks again to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you one. Then overnight tonight, we lose those storms. We lose the daytime heating, but we're still warm, low to mid 80s down there towards the coast. AC's working overtime. The rest of us into the middle to upper 70s, pretty close to the 80-degree mark for a good portion of us. Thanks again to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. And then again, lots of Saharan dust moving into the Caribbean, into the Gulf, really today, tomorrow, and this is going to continue through the weekend into early next week. That's what keeps the tropics pretty much quiet, nothing going on, but this can bring some issues for upper respiratory. Definitely keep that in the back of our mind if you have any upper respiratory issues. Again, here's that Saharan dust moving in tomorrow and really the rest of the weekend. But today, tomorrow, and a little bit of Friday is 20 to 30% coverage, but this weekend into early next week, the potential for locally heavy rainfall definitely returns as we get to scattered, if not up to numerous showers and thunderstorms. Heat of the day and the moisture, you can get some pretty heavy storms, especially those isolated ones. Same thing for southwest Louisiana. I think we got a little bit better coverage today, southwest Louisiana versus southeast Texas, but the rest of the week, we're just showing that we're not going rain-free, but this weekend into next week, we get pretty active with the potential for some locally heavy rainfall. 1 to 3 inches of rain seems pretty likely for southeast Texas and even southwest Louisiana, with some isolated totals getting even higher than that. Wonderful time to go download our free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app with the potential for some locally heavy rainfall this weekend and even into early next week. This app will keep you updated around the clock 24/7. It lets you know when rain is moving in and out of your area. And days like today, when it's very spotty, 20 to 30% coverage for southeast Texas, it's really good to have our app, because if you're going out and about, it says, hey, look, storm's coming in. It's going to move out in 10 to 15 minutes. Our free app keeps you updated. So y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll keep you guys updated for what to expect the rest of this week, especially this weekend into early next week. But thanks again for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. You'll have a good Wednesday. Stay cool, and please download our free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by. Thank you for making Gulf Coast Weather Solutions one of your go-to sources for weather around the clock. From heavy downpours and severe storms to winter weather and the tropics, we've got you covered with accurate, reliable forecasts you can trust.
Next week is starting to look a little bit more stormy.
But look what's moving into the state of Texas.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions.